Robert Hunte. Don't be bullied by PM Rowley. MPs urged to stand their ground. Former People's National Movement, PNM, Vice Chairman Robert Hunte has urged members of Parliament, MPs, to stand their ground and not allow Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley to bully them into signing in support of Energy Minister Stuart Young as Prime Minister. Hunte, a former public utilities minister in Rowley's cabinet, resigned in May 2020 as a result of professional conflict on policy positions. He resigned as PNM Vice Chairman on December 31, 2020. Hunte told the Express yesterday that Rowley should immediately step down as PNM political leader and allow the party to elect a new leader to replace him. On Monday, following a two-day PNM parliamentary retreat in Tobago, Rowley announced that a straw vote took place amongst PNM MPs to decide who would replace him as Prime Minister when he resigns, and that the majority were in support of Young. The vote was 11 for Young and 9 for Planning Minister Penelope Beckles. Rowley said he will continue as PNM political leader, and the party's convention is scheduled for September 28, 2025. He said Young would be appointed as Prime Minister in accordance with the Constitution. Hunte said this manipulation of the democratic process must be strongly resisted. He said if former Prime Minister Patrick Manning had simply anointed Dr. Amory Brown as Prime Minister and left the decision to the Parliamentary Caucus, all hell would have broken loose and Rowley himself would have strongly objected and mash up the place. He said a September 28th convention is far too late for this critical transition to occur. Further, he said Rowley gave the impression to MPs at the retreat that his resignation was immediate, but instead he told the media he's going to a CARICOM meeting and that he had stuff to wrap up. He said Young cannot be appointed as Prime Minister once MPs stand their ground, and the PNM's General Council speaks up and demands a special convention be held soon. There will be pressure on all of them. They will get bullied and balled up. It is not going to be an easy meeting, he said. Process manipulation. Hunte said any deviation from the democratic approach of having the convention is a manipulation of the process and exploitation of constitutional provisions that were likely intended for scenarios such as the sudden death of a sitting prime minister or political leader, as has occurred in the past. Rowley has lost an opportunity to unify and energize the party in this critical election year, he said. It is my hope on Saturday that the General Council embraces that opportunity and give the hard-working members who will be the ones required to hit the streets once the election bell is called to retain the PNM in government for the third time, he said. Hunte said based on the constitution of the party an election for a new leader and a convention could theoretically happen by the end of February. Understanding that we are in the middle of our carnival period, that will not be acceptable. That being said, there is nothing stopping us from electing a new political leader at a convention in early March. This time frame is well in keeping with Dr. Rowley's stated plans of attending the CARICOM meeting as Prime Minister in February, he said. Hunte said now that Rowley has voluntarily stated his intention to demit office, the General Council at its meeting on Saturday needs to do what is right for the party and, in my humble view, this will be to ensure that the general membership have a say in appointing a new full-time political leader who will lead us into the next general election with no ambiguity. Hunte said it is entirely unacceptable for the country to have a prime minister who does not command the support of the party he represents. He said this undermines both the integrity of the democratic process and the confidence of the electorate. There's no need to rush. Let's take the extra month and a half to get it right, he said.